Listen, a lot happened over the summer. It felt like the NBA season, there was really no off season. There was, from the time the finals ended in June to now, the season about to start in October, nonstop we've been discussing, vlogging about the NBA. In your opinion, what was the biggest off-season move that happened?
I'm going to say the shakeups out west. Melo and PG to OKC and CP3 to Houston. I think they may not beat the Warriors, but they can give them a run for their money. I think the East still belongs to Cleveland. Sorry, Carl.
Who belongs in Cleveland?
No. The East belongs to Cleveland.
I disagree. I get to my point about that. Coach?
I think what people fail to realize is something important. The Warriors signed who they needed to sign back, and that gets lost in the translation of all these superstars moving places. The team that was the best last year remained the best because they signed the parts and the pieces that they needed to. Andre Iguodala was very important in coming back. They got him to come back. Kevin Durant took a little bit less money off the table, and they gave Curry his big contract that he deserved. Some of those players could have left and tried to get some more money, especially Iguodala. You know, he had San Antonio interested. He had Houston. Imagine him going to Houston. And giving them a little bit of defensive presence with Chris Paul, with James Harden. So me, personally, out of all those moves, I got to tip my hat to the Warriors GM for keeping the ship intact.
And adding Swaggy P.
And adding Swaggy P.
I think the most important move that the Warriors made was actually keeping Sean Livingston.
That's another big one. I forgot about that one. So all these new teams, it's great that they're getting these star players, but when you keep the team intact that seems like they're unstoppable, that has to be big as well to me.
100%.
See, I think, to your point, I think OKC will be the team to be in the Western Conference Finals.
Really?
I believe so.
Wait, the team to beat?
No, they'll be in the Western. They'll be the team in the Western Conference Finals. Let me correct myself.
Okay.
They will be in the Western Conference. I believe they'll be in the Western Conference.
I was making sure.
They'll be the team in the Western Conference Finals to compete against Golden State.
Okay.
And I think that's the matchup that fans are craving, that fans want to see. Given the fact of the Westbrook and Durant never-ending saga, now you added Melo and Paul George to that mix. I think it's must-see TV.
I don't think the fans will be disappointed either way, whether it's Golden State Houston or Golden State OKC.
Oh, they will be disappointed.
But we also can't forget about San Antonio, who just seems to be there every year, no matter who's on the team.
They'll be disappointed with Houston because you put Chris Paul and Harden together. That's that's a formula for disaster.
I'm not. You know what? One thing is, I'm not gonna count out Houston, and here's my reason. Mike D'Antoni, when he has a veteran point guard, he does a good job. When he had Steve Nash's and when he had, now he's going to have Chris Paul. Even his system, offensive system, which was ran in New York when they had Jason Kidd and they still had Melo, that's when the Knicks. He wasn't the coach, but that was the system. They were playing fast. Mike Woodson was playing his defensive system, but the offense, they kept pushing up, letting the point guard handle the ball. And I think when you add CP3 with James Harden and you put him around those shooters, Ryan Anderson, they did not trade.
Trevor Ariza,
who
plays
some defense.
Eric Gordon.
I don't think OKC is leaps and bounds better than Houston. I really don't. If they matched up in a 7-game series,
it's a toss-up.
It's a toss-up to me.
I agree.
If Houston's shooting the ball well,
they're hard to beat.
They're hard to beat.
Switching it to our East, you don't believe Boston can beat Cleveland?
No.
What are your take on the swap of Isaiah Thomas for Kyrie? Is that a formula that Boston could actually defeat the Cavs? Or is LeBron going back to his 8th finals in a row?
I think LeBron is going back, and it's not only because of the Kyrie IT swap, because I believe that they're kind of very similar players, but the fact that Boston lost 2 of their best perimeter defenders, I think is going to hurt them.
I agree. I mean, speaking unbiasedly, I believe I do that from time to time. What's wrong? What's wrong with your faces?
I don't know, man.
I do that from time. Honestly, I feel as if the youth movement is in Boston. The age and veteran movement is in Cleveland. That's how I feel. Because they added Dwayne Wade. You added, they still have, I believe, Richard Jefferson. They still have Tristan Thompson, Kevin Love.
How many people playing on Boston went to a championship before?
Kyrie's the only one, honestly.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying. It's youth versus experience. And
I think it goes more or less more what Greg talked about with defense. I mean, I just think the way, the East has built its reputation is a more pounded, more slowed down. Even Boston, they were a tough team to beat. Marcus Smart defensively, Al Horford, Crowder, those guys, play tough.
Right.
Now you add Hayward, who's a very good offensive player, not a great defensive player, but he's good offensively. Kyrie Irving, which is the same as Isaiah Thomas, but you lost Crowder. And you're going to expect Jaylen Brown, who's talented but has not seen that many minutes in the prime, and you're going to add an ultra-talented rookie in Jason Tatum, who has no idea how to win in the NBA yet. Kyrie finally being a leader on a team where he's always had to play second fiddle and not be a leader. The pressure's on Brad Stevens in this situation. Brad Stevens has to really motivate and coach this team, unlike the Cleveland Cavaliers don't have to really be coached by Tyronn Lue. They have to be coached, but LeBron is the leader, hands down. They're going to move in the terms of what he moves. He's going to push his guys. So and that's what Crowder actually talked about in an interview he just came out with today. He said in Boston, guys had to be pushed. In Cleveland, you don't feel that. Guys push themselves.
Let me ask you this. If you guys were Danny Ainge, would you have made the move or no?
No, I think Boston got robbed.
So you would have said no to the trade, knowing the fact that Isaiah can't play until January, and knowing the fact that he's going to be a free agent next year and he's going to want a max deal. You wouldn't have made the move?
I would have made the move. I would have made the move because, like I tell people all the time, LeBron, I give him 2 more years at his highest peak. Maybe even next year he leaves Cleveland. If he leaves Cleveland next year, Boston Celtics, hand down, are the best team in the East. They're going to keep all their pieces. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown are going to have another year under their belt, and now you are the team to beat hands down in the East. So with knowing that in hindsight, that's what I'm doing.